Taker here, bringing you guys Taker's Take, which covers around the league for best of the best franchise. We're going to go right into Saturday night recap, which was Week 11's games. So the first game we got is we have the Titans versus Steelers. Steelers came up on top, 27-14. And it looks like the Titans had the most passing yards with 282, and also the most offensive rushing yards with 176. But Steelers did outthrow the Titans a little bit by about 20 yards. Going to the next game, this is actually a force win. Chicago beats Detroit 50-26. Next game we have Green Bay beating Baltimore 24-14. Packers with the most offensive yards total with 260. Ravens outran the Packers 95-62 yards. Passing yards was 157 for Baltimore and 198 for the Packers. Next game we have the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Browns 51-7. And the Jaguars' total offense is 418 compared to 182 on the Browns. 390 rushing yards for the Jaguars. Fournette put up a huge game, while the Jaguars only passed for 28 yards. Next, we have the Cardinals and Texans, where Arizona lost to the Texans 20-41. Offense, the Cardinals did outperform offensively, 379 all yards compared to 230. Rushing yards, Cardinals won that category as well, 186-110, as well as passing, 193-120. However, the Texans still did come out up on top. Really, the big takeaway on this game is Arizona with their 4 turnovers compared to the Texans, taking care of the ball very well with 0 turnovers. Next, we have the Rams and Vikings. This was about to be an upset, actually. LJ versus Realist. This came to a last-minute touchdown by the Vikings, and they end up winning 24-20. Offensively, the Vikings have 290 yards compared to the Rams, 258. Rushing yards, wow, 253 rushing yards to 132. But the passing, the Rams were only held to 5 yards passing, and that's what I was saying wow about, is 5 yards. It's pretty good defense by the Vikings. Next we have the Redskins and Saints. This was another upset. The Redskins win 34-21. By looking at the stats here, the rushing yards, Redskins outran the Saints, by 100 yards, but the Saints aired out the ball with 291 passing yards compared to 81. That might have been the upset of the night right there. There are a couple of upsets in this week. Next is Chiefs and Giants. Giants win 30-25. And we're going to go ahead and just move along through some of these. Next, we have the Bills and Chargers. The Bills end up beating Los Angeles 30-13. Next, we have the Bengals and Broncos. Cincinnati beats Denver 31-24. Only a 7-point game. That was pretty close. Next, we have the Patriots and Raiders. Patriots come out on top 26-21, which was another upset of the night. Next, we have the Eagles and Cowboys. Eagles beat Cowboys 45-24. And lastly, we have Atlanta versus Seattle. Falcons come up on top 58-30, which I believe that was the highest scored game out of all the weeks of yesterday. So there you guys have it for Saturday night countdown. Well, not countdown, but Saturday night recap. So we're going to switch over to the franchise itself, and we're going to look at the standings, league leaders, and some of my playoff predictions here. So looking at the standings for the AFC, we'll start there. We got the Jets in at 9-2, which looks like the Colts are right behind at 9-1. But if the Colts win today, I don't think they've played their game. Then they will lead the AFC. These two teams look like they're gonna probably get a bye week when playoffs come around. Next, we got the Oakland Raiders. Don't know why you can't see anything in that little box right there. It's kind of whited out at 8-2. Then we got my team at 8-3, which is kind of a shocker because this is my first Madden 18 franchise that I've played. Then we got the Steelers at 6-4, the Jaguars at 6-4-1. So it looks like this is the cutoff right here for playoffs. The Jaguars and up. Looks like they're going to be going playoffs the way that it's looking at the moment. But definitely there's still a lot of weeks left in the franchise. So there could be a lot of game changers here. Next, we got the Texans at 5-6, the Bills at 5-5, Ravens at 5-5-1, Broncos at 4-6, Titans at 3-7, Bengals 3-7, Browns 3-7, Dolphins 3-8, Chiefs 1-9, and Chargers 1-9. Some of these lower teams, only the low team I've really played's been the Dolphins, and yeah, I kind of really don't know what to say about them. But Chargers, they went through two owners. So, I mean, there's some slack that you can cut them on there. But Chiefs, which is owned by Mantis, I don't think he plays Madden a lot either. So, going to the NFC side, which apparently is the dominant conference, we got the Vikings at 10-0. 6 more games left for them, and they could probably have a perfect season going into the playoffs. Then we got the Panthers at 10-1, Eagles at 9-1, 49ers at 7-3, Saints at 8-3, Bears 6-4, Seahawks 5-5, Packers 5-5, Giants 5-5, Rams 5-6, Cowboys at 4-6, Falcons at 3-7, Bucks at 2-8, Lions 2-8, Cardinals 2-9, and Redskins 2-8. So it looks like the Saints on up are the people that are going to be in the playoffs. And it kind of almost looks set in stone, really, because, I mean, besides the Bears, depending on how they play out, but, and 14 through 17 on the ranks here. I mean, they can still change, but these top three teams right here, yeah, they'll make playoffs. It just depends on what seed they go in. Some of these lower teams, Redskins, not sure what the deal is over there in Washington. I do see that him and the Cowboys got some type of love-hate relationship going on. And I think they play each other again in one more week. And we're going to see who wins that. I know the first matchup, the Cowboys won 20-12. I've seen that screenshot about 50 times in the GroupMe. Don't really know too much about the Cardinals, Lions, Bucks, Falcons. I've played them. I'm actually pretty shocked that they're 3-7. They're actually a pretty good, solid team. And the Rams, don't know what to say about LJ. Before I joined the league, he was talking a lot of shit, saying that he was just dominant, and I go in here and he's 5-6, man. So there's that for the standings. But overall, top 10 teams are Vikings, Jets, Panthers, Eagles, Colts, Raiders, 49ers, Saints, Patriots, and Bears. So moving on to the league leaders. Oh, and sorry for the bad quality. I don't know why it's bad, but I'm streaming from my PC, from my Xbox, and recording that way. So audio might be a little messed up as well. So passing, I'm just going to go through each category and name the top 5. So we got Josh McCown, passing yards, followed by Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, and Derek Carr. This is probably going to change because there's still a lot of people that have to play their games, it seems like. So yeah, this list will mostly change because I know last week Brady was 4th in passing touchdowns. McCown, Brady, Carr, Luck, and Newton. Let's see who gets the most interceptions. Ooh, look at that. Ryan Tannehill, 31 picks, followed by Wilson, 30, Winston, 27, Roethlisberger, 25, and Manning, 24. Rushing, we've got Smallwood leading, rushing and 1-year pro. Then we got Leonard Fournette, McCaffrey, Miller, and don't even know how to say that last name. Bridia, I think that's how you probably say it. But to be honest with you, I'm impressed with Smallwood's number, 7.1 yards per carry. McCaffrey's. He's leading the league. And I mean, if you compare Fournette to Smallwood, you got 271 carries to 214, 1 more yard more. And he's averaging 1.5 yards per carry more with 8 more touchdowns. Plus, he hasn't even fumbled the ball yet this season. Check out what his stats is. Yeah, he's only got normal development. If that man had like quick or superstar, he'd probably be up there high 80s already. Fournette, 94 overall. Receiving, let's check this out. Bryant, Cooper, Cooks, Adams, and Odell leading the pack in receptions. What about yards? Anderson. Yeah, Anderson's been balling this season. I like how Garbage is using him. Really effective. Julio, Cooks, Odell, and Bryant. Touchdown-wise, Anderson's got a pretty good lead on the receivers, going from 15 to 10. Defense, we've got Foster. I can't even say it. I know I can say it, but it's a tongue twister for me, so I'm not going to say it. Davis, Carter, and Perfect leading, what is that, total tackles? Yeah. Tackles for loss. Aaron Donald, followed by Campbell, Jernigan, Carter, and Walker Jr. Sacks. Got 22.5 already with this player on the Jags. And again, I'm not even going to say this name. But man, Mark's balling with that dude. Could probably break that sack record. Joey Bosa. And then let's look at the interceptions here. Yeah, she's there leading the pack with 10 interceptions. So yeah, that's basically it with the league leaders. So we'll bring it back to the studio. Welcome back to the studio, guys. Now we're going to switch it over and talk about if the season ended today, what teams are making playoffs, what teams get a bye in the playoffs, the division winners, and the wild card teams. So we're going to start with the NFC. The Vikings or the Panthers, both leading in their division respectively, will receive a bye week in the wild card, with Vikings being 10-0 and Panthers being 10-1. Next, we have the Eagles, the Niners, Saints, and Bears. The Saints and the Bears are going to be the 2 teams that will make wild card, while the 49ers and Eagles are the winners of their division. So going over to the AFC end, we have the Jets and the Colts receiving a bye week in the wild card, with the Raiders Raiders and Steelers winning their division. Then we have the Patriots and Jaguars clinching wild card. So then that does it for if the season ended today. Next, I'm gonna close this show by giving you guys a couple of draft tips coming up for this draft. Some of you guys already may know how these are, and with everyone playing Madden. But for the people that are kind of new or people that don't really pay attention to drafting, these tips can be valuable. The first one is pay really close attention to the draft stories. Um, you'll start to notice, especially toward the end of the year, good or bad with upcoming prospects, depending on what their story is, it will determine their development. Like, for example, I know for a fact Heisman Trophy winners, you draft them, they'll have a superstar development trait, or like um, season record breakers and so on. That they have a higher chance of being a superstar development compared to a quick development. Usually, good stories they give you a higher percent chance of being in those top two development areas. Whereas the low end, like injuries or just poor play, result in slower rates. Um, so yeah, just pay attention to the draft stories. You'll start to learn more about a lot of prospects. Another one is when you're scouting. Um, doesn't really matter if you have. I mean, the attributes can be great, but if you scout a player and their talented round goes in on undrafted, most likely they will not be good. They're going to be like below 70 overall. So if you scout someone that's projected to go in the second round and all these stats are looking good, and they go as an undrafted, they're projected to be undrafted talent wise, chances are not only they're going to be below a 70 overall, but they're going to possibly have a slow development rate as well. So there you guys have it. Some 2 draft tips coming up into this draft. And might make a video some other time, probably during the playoffs or something. I don't know yet. This actually took a pretty long time to get this done. So I hope you guys like it. And if you guys are not a subscriber to my channel, hit that like and subscribe button, man. Talk to y'all later. Peace.